Good morning, happy people. On this sunny day in April. Glider up there, can you see it? Very nice. Right, today I'm going to give you my complete review of my new bike, the BMW R1200RT. It's going to be broken up into sections. I'm going to start off with a few stats. Put them up for you. Then we're going to be talking a bit about it while riding the bike. I'm then going to send you back into the garage where I myself will be giving you a comprehensive guide of the full menu system on the dash. Then we'll be coming back out on the bike after that. I then want to find a nice place to park up and we'll have a walk round and look at it from a pedestrian view at all the different controls and things. There's me nodding at bloody police there. Marvellous. Yeah, and then hopefully send the drone up and give you an aerial view of the bike. And probably end with a few photographs. So plenty to fit into this episode. So I'll start by giving you a few specifications. It has the air and liquid cooled twin cylinder boxer engine, which is 1170cc. It has 125 brake horsepower. The weight of this machine is 276 kilograms. Full length of the bike is 2,222 millimeters, all the twos. And the width of it is 990 millimeters. That's from mirror to mirror. So if you get the mirrors between an opening, you'll get the bike between an opening. The petrol tank is a 25 litre capacity. And the seat height ranges from 760 millimeters to 850 millimeters, dependent on what seat you have fitted. There are three different types. You can have the low one, which is the 760 obviously, the high one, which is the 850, and then the standard seat, which is in the middle of both those. The seating position on this bike is just, I've said it before, it's just built for my size and shape. It's just perfect. I just feel like the bike's been built around me. It's that perfect for me. There's three different riding modes on this machine, operated by a button on the handlebars. You've got road, which is your normal riding mode that most people would ride with. You have rain, obviously that's self-explanatory, you need that when you're riding in the rain. And dynamic. What it does, it affects the response of the throttle. i.e. dynamic, you just have to give it a slight twist and you're away. Rain, it sort of lays off and gives you a more cautious ride, which is what you require in rain obviously. Three different riding modes. The mirrors on this particular model are absolutely fantastic. I don't know whether any of me existing subscribers remember, but on the 2006 model that I had prior to this one, I had extra mirrors put on because the mirrors on the 2006 model were not good enough for my liking. I'm not going to need any extra mirrors on this model because they are just absolutely spot on and really easy to adjust. You just push them about until you get the exact angle you want. But yeah, I can just glance down at them and they're absolutely perfect. It also has what's called the quick shifter for moving through the gearbox. And you can just be riding along first, you just don't require the clutch with the quick shifter. You can just flick the gears up from first to sixth, not a problem at all. And it is so smooth, it's brilliant. And you can also go down your gearbox just the same way, which I do, but I don't do the from second to first. I tend to use my clutch. Don't know why, that's just what I do. So yeah, the quick shifter, another massive plus with this bike. There's no TFT on the dash like the later models, and they are fantastic, I must agree, but this one is still absolutely superb. Very clear. You've got loads of different information on the dash, telling you lots of different things. What I'll do now, I'll just send you back in time and a few miles back to my garage at home, and I'll hand you over to Steve in the garage to show you exactly what everything does on the dash and what information you can be looking at. Over to you, Steve, in the garage.
Right guys, back in the garage now, after Steve on the bike's handing you over to me. I'm just going to show you, I'm just going to go through the menu system now, which is operated by this jog wheel, which you go up and down through the menu, and this is your menu button here that you just click to go through the different pages of the menu. So I'll rig up the camera on a tripod and we'll go through all the different menu items manipulated by these two buttons and dials. Okay, so the first button press on the menu brings you to the dynamic electronic suspension assist, which as you can see has got soft, normal and hard. You just move the jog wheel up and down to select which one you need, and in this little window here it shows you that I'm in normal at the minute, saying norm, but I mean if I clicked soft and then you just click the wheel to the right, that shows that I've moved it to soft, so I'll just move it back to normal. And then below these three you've got single passenger, which is again on this menu here, on this picture here, showing a single helmet. Menu with luggage, if I click that one, you'll see a little luggage bag goes down where the pannier is on that little picture. And if we go down to the two, it shows you the two helmets, so that's rider and pillion, so the suspension for those two. So that's the dynamic electronic suspension assist. The next one, if you click the menu button again, go into the second screen, brings up info. Now this is what's displayed. I'll go to the top to start off with, and this one just below the picture of the motorcycle. As you can see at the minute I'm getting 61.8 miles to the gallon, and that's consumption, average consumption on the info. Consumption, that as I was riding, if we were now riding live, that would show me what I was getting actual miles per gallon in whatever gear I'm in and whatever speed I'm doing. Range, that tells you that I've got a full tank actually in the garage today, but 318 miles to my full tank, that's the range I've got left. Average speed, that's 33 miles per hour on my last route out that I did. Temperature, it tells you what temperature is, which is 19 degrees today, nice day. Next one down, tyre pressure, that would show on these two wheels, the front wheel and the back wheel. As you go in, it would tell you. When it stood still it won't light up, but that tells you what percentage bar you've got in your tyres, which is a handy little thing to have. Next thing, you've got a stopwatch. Next one down is travel times. That actually tells you that the one with the little play symbol is actual time travelled. It would start recording if I set off now. The pause button is how long it's been stood, so obviously since I reset it, it's been stood 3 hours and 2 minutes. So on an actual journey, if you was riding along on a journey, it would tell you how many hours and minutes you've been actually riding and how many hours and minutes you've actually stopped. So if that's of interest to you, it's another little thing you can have. Date, obviously tells you the date, which is 22nd of the 3rd today, 25th of the 3rd, sorry. Next one down, oil level, that one says OK, normally where the 3 dotted lines are. That's once again while you're riding, it comes up and it tells you that your oil level is okay. The next one is the electric voltage. That tells you that 12.2 is what the voltage is in my battery at the moment. And if you don't want anything to be shown in that little window below the picture of the motorcyclist, you can just click off and select that one. So I'm just going to move that one back to temperature. I like to have it set on temperature. On the next menu page we have the tripometers. We've got 3 of these. Trip 1, which is showing now 35.6 miles up. Move down to trip 2, it's 1,389 miles, which is actually the amount of miles that I've rode on it since I bought the bike. And then you've got trip auto, which is, as you can see, set to 0.0. Trip auto is a handy little tripometer actually, because it resets itself once you switch the bike off. After 8 hours of being off, resets to 0. Now sometimes, I don't know whether you're like me, but you set off on a day and think, oh, wish I'd set my tripometer back to 0 and all that. Well, this is a good one because, like I say, 8 hours after you've switched off, it automatically reverts back to 0.0. So that one's a handy one to have. I'll just pop it back onto the one. Next on the menu sheet, heated grips. Now these are 5 different settings, and if you just turn your wheel up 1, it brings it to 1 bar, up again 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll also see that on the picture of the bike again, there's a little orange dot just appeared where the handlebar would be. That'll go off if I turn these off. As soon as you turn it on, and then you know you've got your heated grips on. The next page is your heated seating. This again has come in 5 increments from 0 up to 5, and again, if you see below the helmet on the picture here, that's just come up. When I turn it off, it'll go off. Boom, there you go. So you know when you've got your heated seating on as well. And next on the menu we have lots of different settings. These have got sub-menus to them as well. So the user one, you have language. You can set your different languages, go through all the different ones that you want it to be. Time format, you can set your time to whichever way you like it. 24, 12 as the date format. GPS time, if you've got a sat-nav in your holster, it automatically takes the date and time from your GPS time if you set that to on. Brightness, that's the brightness of the screen. It goes from 0 to -4 for some reason. As you can see, it's going slightly darker, and then it goes up to 0, but that's the brightest it goes. Then have the start logo. That's when you start the bike up, if you want the RT logo to light up on the screen. Quite nice. In the background you can have the logo, and that's where this is seated now, the menu screen. You can have like the RT logo there, speedo, which is like a digital speedometer, which I have it set on because it's really good. You see the actual mileage you're doing there in big letters, or you can have it empty, so showing nothing, but I have it on the speedo. Factory settings, that's just to click that and you'll reset all of this, what you set up on here, back to the factory reset, factory settings that it came with. So if we go back to the settings, the main settings on this page, you can go down to the vehicle, and in vehicle you have the alarm system. You can have the sensor on or off. Day run lights, I always have them on, better to be bright and see and be seen, so I always have the driving lights on, which I'll show you again later on in this video. They're a really good feature and they look great as well, so I always have those on. Shift indicator, on or off. That's a little indicator that comes as you're driving along. It's a little arrow to say you should shift up to a further gear up, so you can have that on or off. Go back now. Time, that's to set your time. It's 12 minutes past 3 in the afternoon at the minute. Date, obviously to set your date. And you've got your dynamic traction control. You can have that on or off. And that has gone all the way through the settings, guys. Right, back to Steve on the bike.
Thank you very much, Steve in the garage. I think that's clearly explained the dash to you all. It has an electric windscreen, which is operated by a button on the handlebars. Just press and hold, and as you can see now, it's rising up. I mean, in the wind and the rain, it's absolutely fantastic. It's like you're sat in a car. I'll just lower it back down. The beauty of it as well is if you get it in an exact position that you like, say if it's just sort of midway up, when you switch the bike off, when you finish riding, it'll go down like it is now to the bottom. But then as soon as you start the bike up and start setting off and riding again, it will reset itself to the last height that you had it set at. So if you have a perfect position that you like to keep, ideal for that. It has cruise control. Fantastic if you're doing some motorway miles. Just get on the motorway, get it up to 70, click it on there and just ride along at 70, keeping within the speed limits. Cruise control is absolutely beautiful on it. Operated by, you tap the little tab on the top of it, forwards and backwards, and it'll move up 1 mile increments, or decrease by 1 mile increments. All the buttons and dials that you press on here, the jog wheel, everything, all feel really, really good, and as you press at each button you do know that you've pressed them. They don't feel plasticky or soft or anything like that. Really, really good. The sat-nav is in perfect position and in its sort of little mount. It's purpose built for the BMW Navigator 5 or the BMW Navigator 6, which is what I have. I've since found out as well that if you're on a bit of a budget or you can't quite afford a Navigator, the Garmin Zumo 660 fits in there perfect as well. So anybody out there that's, like I say, on a bit of a tight budget, go for the 660. No modification required, it just fits straight into the mount. Petrol consumption, which is a big thing these days with the price of petrol going as crazy as what it has been. I'm getting 62 miles to the gallon, which again is, in my view, a fantastic consumption rate. I mean, I'm not a fast rider. I just enjoy touring about and going different places, but yeah, 62 miles to the gallon. What else have we got? Oh, central locking. There's a central locking button on it. I have a little glove compartment down to the left-hand side below the handlebar, and both the panniers will all lock when I press the central locking button. And with the key that you've got on the key fob, there's a button as you're walking away from the bike, you just press that, and that will centrally lock all your... it'll lock my sat-nav on as well, because if anybody's watched an old episode, I actually fitted a sat-nav lock. It locks that as well. So that's a handy little feature and button. We'll just pull in here and see if we can't get parked up on... this is where they have Hemswell Market. I haven't been able to get onto that field before. Be a nice place to park up and have a little walk round. A bit gravelly, you just got to go careful. I can get onto the field, happy days. Bit of grass tracking. That'll do here nicely. Well, I've just pulled over, so we'll have a little look at some of the other things on the bike now that we're stationary in a nice little area. They're the daylight running lights. They're like two eyes. Can you see them, the circular ones? Really good. It's just such a bright day today that you'll probably not be able to see them properly, but LEDs. This is the central locking button that I was talking about that locks the little glove box. A little glove box on this side, look here. Let's manually open and shut it there, but if you press the central locking button, you can hear it locking and unlocking. And that locks my sat-nav on as well with the sat-nav lock. But also that glove box and the two panniers are all centrally locked with that button. This is your mode button that I mentioned earlier, that you can move between road, rain and dynamic, 3 different modes of riding. And then you've got your kill switch below that, and that's what's on the right handlebar. Yeah, and on the left handlebar, that's your cruise control. Just that's off. Push it to that side, and then you can move this paddle forward or backwards to accelerate or deaccelerate. You've got your hazards, for your hazard lights, the red button there. They're the day running lights that I've just shown you at the front. You click them on and off. I mean, I have them on all the time. That's this one here is your windscreen, up, down. Then you've got the menu button that Steve in the garage showed you, and your jog wheel, which moves around things, and you click to the left and the right. Below that, that's one of the things that I don't like about this bike. The indicator switch is just one singular one on the left hand side. On the old model that I had, it had a paddle on the left and a paddle on the right. This one's alright when you're turning right, just to push it to the right, but if you're turning left you have to reach right across and pull it to the left. It's not a big problem, but it's just a thing that I'm not so keen on this particular model. And then below that you've got your horn, the red button. So yeah, quite a lot going on that handlebar. Onto the panniers. Each pannier has a 32 litre capacity, storage capacity, and to open you just press the button
lift this tab up and the lid falls open. To show you inside, you've got loads of room. I have the liners in mine. When we go away, just so I can take the bags out and take them into the caravan where we're staying. And then to shut, just push it to, press that tab back down, that's it locked. To take a pannier off, all you do is you put your key in the button, turn it until the handle pops up, then you just grab the handle and lift it off. As easy as that. And then to pop it back on, just line up the tabs, click it back on, pull the handle back down, and that's it. Easy as that, one-handed job. Great panniers. Top box, that top box is actually the top box from my 2006 model, which I was wondering about. Now, have they changed the rack on the back? But they haven't. The racks on the back of these RTs haven't changed from my model, which is 2006 to 2018. So brilliant. Not quite exactly the same red, but bothered. Another very useful feature, it's like a handbrake for a motorbike, but it's called a hill assist. And what you do, you just squeeze the front brake quite tightly, and up on the dash, my dash isn't on at the minute, the little H comes on for hill assist, and that's like a handbrake. You can just, keeps the brake on for as long as you wish. So if you're on an incline anywhere, down or up, very handy to have the handbrake for the motorcycle. There's two ways of taking it off. You just squeeze and let go again, and that'll turn it off. Or as you set off, just give it just a little bit more revs, and it'll just automatically switch itself off and set off. So that's the hill assist, another great feature of the RT. The motorbike also comes keyless, which means that you don't have a key where you would normally have one. Here, look, it's just a button, but you do have to wear the fob around your neck or in your pocket or somewhere within like a metre of the bike for it to operate. But I just press a button and you'll see the dash light up. And then to turn it off, just press the button again. Everything goes off. I'm not a big lover of it, to be truthful. I'd rather have a physical key, because if I lose my key while you're riding along, once the bike's started, if you stop the bike then and you've dropped the key somewhere, you can't start that bike again. So I'm not a massive lover of it, to be truthful. And you get a spare key with it, but I'll put you a picture of it up now. It's like a thin grey plastic one. I would have thought they could have given you two proper fobs, which I'll show you a picture of now, which you hang around your neck. BMW comes with its two power sockets as well for charging things when you're riding along. It's actually the BMW DIN plugs though that you have to have. It's not like a fag lighter socket. And you can also use this point to charge up with an Optimate. There's an Optimate 4 CAN bus edition, but I'll show you plugging it in the garage now. And that keeps your battery optimised. And there's also a power point at the back here, just below the top box. I don't know whether you can see it. You can just there, look. This lovely dash as well that comes with it can be adjusted by pushing at the top to click it back, or pushing at the bottom to click it down. I'm not going to alter it because it's at the perfect level that I like it at, but that's adjustable as well. You just have to give it a good push and it clicks into place at certain different angles. So that's handy if you're a bit higher or a bit lower than the person that had it beforehand. Heated seat for the rear pillion passenger. They require heating on their backside. They've got their own control there that they can reach down. Two settings.
happy people, I hope you've enjoyed that little review on the new machine. If you're thinking about getting one, what would be my advice? Go for it. They're absolutely amazing. The most comfortable thing I've ever sat on in my life. The handling of it is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, if you're thinking about getting one of these RTs, really would recommend it. Phenomenal. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Please leave a like if you could, please. It does help the channel no end. And plenty of stuff coming up. As in another Scotland trip fast approaching. Days out. Dual vlogs. Bits and pieces reviewed. So yeah, until the next one, thanks ever so much for watching. Ride safe, everybody. And keep it the shiny side up. Gravel on a bend.